Hello friends, so my name is Sivarajaragendran and I'm from Minds of Aspirant. So students who are going to write your examination in 2025, so they asked me a set of basic questions as to how do you approach this examination. So it's going to be a series of videos based on how do you choose an optional, how do you study polity, how do you study geography, things like that. So I'll start with this primary thing, which is very important. As to how do you study polity, there are many interpretation. I'll give you mine. You can take what fits you from this discussion. So step one, I would say anyone who wants to prepare for this examination, they have to start or they should start with polity. It is very fun, and I would say go for these NCERT books. Don't go for any fancy books. NCERT books, the sixth standard from the start. If you see, this is a sixth standard book. I'll show you the syllabus, then you will understand. I'll also suggest TNPS, Tamil Nadu books or Samachir Kalvi books, which are set. That book also you can say you can take in that from the basics. So if you are going to prepare, start with the basics. Look at the syllabus in this fashion. So here, this is basic. What is a government? What is a panchayat raj? What is this rural administration? If you keep on going, so seventh book. So sixth, seventh. In this, what is the meaning of equality? So you know how the state government works, how the not all the things. What is the meaning of equality? This is article 14. So when you come to the point, then you will understand what is the meaning of all these things. Then what is Indian constitution, understanding secularism, why do we need a parliament, or things like basics. You don't worry about this examination first. Don't step into the shoes of first. Immediately when we step into the shoes of somebody who had cleared, it's going to be a very daunting thing. I would suggest go for the basics first, understand all these things. Similarly, you will have what is a democracy, what is a constitutional design, what is an electoral politics. All these are from the syllabus, and primarily you can go for federalism, power sharing, or this political theory. Yes, political theory is a book that you can go for. Equality, social justice, rights, all these are basically given in this. But this book is what I would want you to look at. If you are a person wanting to prepare for 2025, or wanting to prepare this examination, you are in your college, what I would suggest, or if I was in my college, I would go for this book. Basic book. This is the book you can start slowly reading. The book that people would have said for you is Lakshmikant, or any other book. But I'll come to the books when I come to the next step. This is the first step. As a person from a college, or a person who wants to or is aspiring for civil services, the first subject I would want you to look at is polity. And in that, I would want you to look at the civics books, understand them, don't go overboard, understand this book. People misunderstand, saying that this book is mandate. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you are a person in college, go through these books, and here you will find all the relevant, what is a constitution, rights, so the fundamental rights, and election process, executive, legislature, everything is there in this book. See, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th are a prelude. The 10th book, or the Constitution at Work, which I spoke about now, or this book, you can check this book. This book you can take, leisurely you can start reading and understanding the concepts. Once you do that, that is the first step. That this is for some other, you can read this book also, but anyways, so this is Constitution, or this is some other book. Now comes the second step. See, understand this very clearly. First, you have done your basics. What I would suggest you is that these two books, Polity by Lakshmikant and Constitution of India, PM Bakshi. These two books I would want you to get. Those books also you can have it in your PDF, and you can start reading. Basically, you can start reading from your college itself, first year college, second year college. You don't have to go to any fancy things to know all these things. Basic civics books that we have already been studying from our kindergartens, what is a parliament, everything. You study that, then you come to the preparation. When you come to the preparation, whether you are going for self-study or for classes, that's your choice. I will leave to you. But whether you go for either of them, I would suggest, let us assume that you are studying about equality, equality or whatever thing that you are studying. The chapter is here. So fundamental rights, you will study this. What I would want you to do personally is that here you study the chapter, article or the equality based article or the liberty based article, or equality and liberty. So this is 14. So you would be reading that. But once you read this, you go for this article. So 21. No person shall be, no person shall be deprived of his or her personal liberty except according to a law. It is given in Lakshmikant. There is a well-written chapter in Lakshmikant. But once you read that, you should go for the article which is relevant in PM Bakshi. This is the mistake that the students do. They come to this in the last stage. No. First, you go for your polity books, the basic civics books. You get your understanding in college, whatever you do. Then come to your preparation. Then choose only these books. See, other than these books, you can. So if you want, I will suggest there is D.D. Basu. Other than these, I don't suggest any other book. These books are more than sufficient. I am a strict no for any notes. Notes-based preparation comes later. Primary thing, book. Last comes these notes. Don't substitute your book with your notes. Notes will be useful. The time will come. We'll talk about it. But these are the basic things for Constitution. And you have Constitution at work. That is the second. But once you read this chapter, this article becomes very, very significant. This is where students lose out, but don't rush. Now is your time for you to slowly imbibe. So you have come to your preparation. So anybody who goes to this class, okay, self-preparation, it's your choice, your time. But if you are a person going to the class, and if you are a person going to attend this article 21 or liberty or whatever topic in fundamental rights that you are going to see, what I would suggest is that 3 hours of intense studying, 3 hours of intense studying from this book and this book. That is before you go to a class. People mistake and they directly go to a class, take down the notes, come home, read. You have already read this, the civics book and everything in that equality, liberty, they would have discussed. Here, the chapter relevant to tomorrow's class, 3 hours to 4, whatever intense reading you do, then go to the class. Then sit in the class, then you can take the notes. The sit in the class is, taking the note. This is the third stage. Don't replace any stage. This notes is your notes. If you want to make, I usually did it in the book itself. So I basically did the notes, any article, in Lakshmikant, the article number will not be mentioned. So what I used to do is that, okay, if they are talking about some article relevant to 111, so I will, put it at 111. The basic notes I took is in the same books itself. So class notes you can have, but this is the third stage, But after this third stage, one more stage becomes very Very important. So the example that I am going to explain is Article 324, which is an election-based article, which you will have gone to the class, you would have taken the notes. The fourth stage is I consider it as one of the most important stage, which again students miss and they suffer in the later stages. This is the stage where you go for this, newspaper. Here, an election chapter you have read, you have studied constitution at work, election chapter you have read, you have gone to the class, taken the notes. Now you read this article. Now you read an article, some important people will be writing. So he is a former Secretary General of Lok Sabha. He would write an article on model code of conduct. Under what article this comes? Under how this election commission does this? What is the constitutional authority based on which this is done? Your article, notes, everything is there. But how is it relevant to the stage which is happening in the country right now? This is the stage I consider. See, look at this. The constitution mandates election, whether election commission has to conduct the election. If the government does not want, what would you do? This is mandated by the constitution. So this is the point that you come, and once you understand this, slowly you will read all these things. See, look at this. Under model code of conduct is, how is it done? Whether it is given in the constitution? No, it is through Article 324 that the model code of conduct has come. Without any legal basis, the election commission has done. And one more, so once you come here, you will see the some cases relevant to the article which is there. This phase is what I think students miss. 2-3 phases students miss. They go for, if you see, they go directly to any book. They don't go for Lakshmikant. One mistake. Second mistake is that they go for only notes. That is a second mistake. Third mistake is that they don't read newspaper. Instead, they watch any newspaper analysis. That's not going to integrate all the things that I have said. Starting from the basic books till now, the integration happens when you read. Now, after you have read, now look at this. Now all these things, come together, and you come to the last stage. Once you finish all these things, then you look at the PYQs. The PYQs are a later last stage factor. Initially, you see, many have this habit of looking at the questions and reading, but there is a way for you to learn things. Learning things, you first learn it. So the formula that I'm going to give you is that you first finish one reading. So you have been reading, you finish it, you go to the class, you get the understanding, come back, read it again, whether you have understood it, whether you have checked this newspaper, then check this previous year question, then go for reading 2, 3, 4, 5, or as many times as possible. Read Lakshmikant, read the articles from PM Bakshi. No other book I would suggest, except for maybe the Constitution at Work, the book which you saw it initially. That will give you the strength in polity. This is around 1/5. So you still have 4/5 of the strengths that you need for clearing this exam. This whole procedure is 1/5. Once you do this, I can assure you, you have completed 20% of civil services. Thank you for watching. So you can ask any of your doubts in this Minds of Aspirant channel. It will be there. So link is in the description. Any doubts, you can, message the number also, which is given there. All the best and thank you.